Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm just getting set up here. I got my new little inspiration here. I quite like her. I had to go to get my new green bin today. And they had this lovely little bear here. I'm just going to see if I can. There we go. And she actually says, to achieve, all you have to do is believe. So I really wasn't in the market to buy a new stuffed toy, but I couldn't resist. So welcome. This is my first live stream where I am going to be speaking with Spirit, giving some inspired messages. I'm hoping to be able to have people join me and to give some mini readings. We'll see who shows up. And I'm hoping that as time goes on and I am more regular, that I will have more of you joining me regularly. That would be really wonderful to be able to have. And of course, if you are watching the replay, that's wonderful that you're watching the replay, and I really do appreciate it. So first of all, I just want to ask, please do like and share and subscribe to my channel, because all of your support helps me be able to help others. And I really do believe that this is what it's all about, is to be able to shine our light and to be able to raise the vibration of this world. Because let's face it, like, we really need more light right now in our world. And so I am a psychic and a spiritual medium, and I'm a lifelong seeker. I am a mystic. I consider myself a mystic, which means I've always had this longing to understand God and to know the divine. And there was never a period of time where I have had an awakening. I have always had a knowing, and I've always been very in tune with that inner voice. And I've always been very aware that I have received things that have been not from my own conscious mind, that they've come from something greater than myself. And so I've been on this lifelong journey of trying to figure out what all of that is. And I'm getting a little bit closer, I like to think, but I want to be really very mindful that this is an ongoing thing, this journey with Spirit. And our development, our spiritual development, is ongoing. I truly do believe that. Even those individuals that are really the most profoundly of enlightened, I believe that if you're here on earth, that you're here for a reason, and that spiritual evolution just is ongoing. And so we do continue to evolve in the spirit world also. And that's something that we may not really fully understand or appreciate here on the earth plane, that we grow here on earth, but we still do continue to grow in the spirit world. It's just a little bit different. And how is that different? I mean, because we grow through our experiences here on the earth plane. We incarnate to be able to have this experience where there is a lot of light and a lot of dark, and we learn our soul's capacities through these experiences. And I mean, I believe that we are spirit incarnated, that we are spirit and having this soul experience. So we are individualized as spirit, individualized, therefore we're a soul, but we are spiritual beings. But we have these experiences here in the human form, and we are, we're limited, right, by our human minds. And so what happens is that we keep having these experiences where we slowly start to understand our soul nature. And we come into the earth plane with having karma, with having this preset sort of lesson that we're meant to be able to experience in order to unfold more of our soul qualities. And, and then a lot of times we mess up, right? Because we're human. And that's the hard thing about being human. And we have this limited consciousness. And what happens is that limited consciousness starts to peel away bit by bit as we are ready to be able to receive this higher awareness. And so it really truly is, many people talk about the layers of the onion, but um, it's what's happening is that we are peeling back these layers of consciousness, and we are connecting more with our higher self. And so the whole purpose is that we bring this higher self into alignment here on the earth plane. But as I said, that doesn't happen all at once. And so then when we transition into the spiritual plane, we continue to be able to take those experiences and review them and learn. And we're nurtured by the light. We're nurtured by spirit, and we return back to that love that we have, manifested from. And we return back to that divine essence. And through that process, we continue to grow, and we realize our true spiritual nature. And really, I feel that all this, that God truly is evolving with us also, because we all come from the great divine mind. And so he has conceived us, conceptualized us just by thinking of us. And so he too is learning. And just listen, just because I'm saying he doesn't mean truly, I believe that it is a man up there, because it's not. The ultimate divinity is really without gender. Although that's been kind of, it's been kind of mistaken or misled over the years. There's been that patriarchy that has assumed it to be male, and so goes the story of religion, which really is just a pathway to be able to understand where we are meant to go. It's really just meant to be lessons and keys to help guide us. And much of it is still interpreted by the mind, the human mind, even though they may be enlightened for their time. It's still this mind that existed at that particular level of consciousness and time, which is still has limitations. And it's been important to be aware that all religion really has an esoteric and an exoteric nature, meaning the exoteric is what is disseminated to the people, and the esoteric is what is hidden. And oftentimes that was hidden by the higher ups of the churches and of, the clergy. And it was really meant to be able to protect those. The saying is to protect the, it's not the unenlightened, it's the uninitiated. And because there are those layers of consciousness, those levels of consciousness. And so it was really disseminated as rules to live by in order to be able to guide. But those rules have a spiritual truth to them. And those rules have, a deeper purpose, a deeper divine purpose to them that helps you unfold the true spiritual nature of ourselves. And that's kind of, it's kind of crazy when you think about it like that, really. I'm just going to pause and have a cup of tea here. And So when I talk about religion and that, again, I go on these little bit of these tangents, of these inspired talks where I may go off the intended topic, but I do feel that it's all guided. And so understanding that really my whole purpose here is to be able to bring more spirit to your life, to be able to help you connect more with your soul, help you understand your true soul nature, help you feel more blessed, to be able to manifest more, to be able to live joyfully. And truly, truly, I believe it's written that we are meant to bring heaven to earth, that we are unfolding in vibration, that we're raising the vibration, and the consciousness is raising as a result. And that is why we see all these shifts and crazy stuff within the world right now. I mean, truly more than ever, that these are meant to prompt us. These are the outer manifestations of, I just saw the clock there as I'm saying this, and I saw 11:11. It just sort of really struck me. These are the outer manifestations of our inner manifestation. And so I really want you to be able to reflect deeply upon that when I'm saying this. That what we are witnessing in the world right now is the outer manifestation of our inner world, which clearly is in turmoil because we're seeing all of this turmoil around us. And all of this, and so with the ancient Hermetic law talks about as within, so without. And so we're all connected. And our inner world, affects the outer world. And the outer world in turn affects us also. And it is this symbiotic relationship because everything is spirit. Our outer world is spirit. And if you stop to reflect upon that our outer world is a manifestation of the great creator, that the outer world that we experience is really that thought projection of the great creator. And what we're witnessing is this turmoil that we're having within, because it's really important for us to be able to start connecting with our divine nature. But what happens is that because we're on this material plane, that the energy is so dense and we see things through our 5 physical senses. And as a result, it distorts a lot of really what's going on. And so the key is to learn how to be able to start to view the world and understand it through your spiritual senses. And how we do that is by learning how to call all of our energy back. And so listen, in my journey, I worked as a nurse, which was the most awesome period of time in my life, to be able to work as a nurse and have the privilege to be able to work with people, with souls, having this really, big human experience. But I got to also experience the real spiritual truth behind everything. And so I got to experience the human body in the energy field. And I got to experience clairvoyantly, spiritually. I was able to sense just the human condition. And I got to experience all of this while working with really incredible people. And through that, I got to understand how our mind, how, psychology, current psychology, and how our physiology, our neuroscience affects everything. And they're all interlaced with one another. It really is, when you start to think about the great creation of the human body, and you start to understand that there is an intelligence behind the human body. There's an intelligence behind it, and it really is very magnificent. And that intelligence, it is so perfect in its creation. It's so perfect in its um, mechanical abilities. And I'll say mechanical abilities just through the physiological state, through a biological state. But it does work as a perfect machinery system that works symbiotically with other systems to be able to create the whole. And so I really have a very profound understanding of the mind, of neuroscience, of psychology, through having the ability to work with in nursing. And that has been a great blessing to me. It was something that I never ever wanted for myself, truly. But, Spirit knew better and guided me there. And had I not followed that path, as difficult as it's been in throughout my experience, had I not followed that nudge, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have learned what I have done. And it's through that I think that we're able to have grace. It's through the reflection. And I want to stress that reflection is God-given ability. The power of our ability to reflect is a gift from the divine. And listen, we don't use it enough, truly, as most humans. We don't reflect upon our experiences. We don't stop to consider what is the lesson that is being meant to be taken here. What is the experience? How have I gone awry in my experience, or how have I succeeded? And if you think that you succeed by you and you alone, then you're mistaken, because it's not you alone that succeeds. It's the great I. It's the we. It is spirit within that allows you to rise up. It is the connection to spirit that gives you the inspiration. It is the connection to spirit that has allowed us to manifest all of our physical world, which really, when you think about it, is astronomical, our physical world, right? We have all of this in our physical world that has manifested from our creative mind, which is connected to spirit. And that, when you stop to think about it, is a miracle in itself. And so if you're looking to bring more spirit into your life, if you're looking to connect more with your soul, really start to look, to reflect upon your soul's experience. And what are the lessons that are there for you to undertake? Where has your ego? And ego is really just our lower mind, right? We all need ego. Ego serves a purpose. And without ego, we wouldn't be able to navigate through this physical world. So let's just be clear on that. We need ego to propel us through this physical world. Listen, if I didn't have my ego, I would have succumbed a long time ago. And so we do need ego, but ego also is a trapping, right? Because we have these hidden aspects of our ego. And Freud talked about our id. And we have these hidden shadow aspects of ourselves that can blur or really mislead us, right? Because we're seeing it through this constant lens of limitation. And some of that serves a purpose. In fact, a lot of it really serves a purpose. If we're to truly surrender to the idea that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if we surrender completely to that concept, then it all serves a purpose. And through that understanding, we can forgive. And that is a powerful thing. We can forgive those that have wronged us. We can forgive ourselves. which is huge, right? And this is what we really want to be able to undertake. And it's through this power of reflection that we're able to assess, have that personal assessment, um, and take stock of things and recognize. And it's through that power of reflection that our spirit starts to speak to us. And so if you're looking to bring more connection into your life, if you're looking to bring more spirit, more soul, take the time to reflect. And reflection is not always pretty, I will tell you that, but it does become easier the more that you do it, because the more that you reflect, the more that you're able to connect with your soul and feel those soul urges. And it's through that that you're able to really navigate better through this physical world. And so remembering that our power of reflection is a spiritual gift, okay? Remember that we're always been provided tools to be able to navigate this physical life. And the power of reflection is one of them. And so using that to be able to understand your journey, and it's through that that we become more enlightened, and we start to recognize these little nudges that we're having, and we connect more with our spirit. Oh, I got a hello there. That's lovely. Thank you very much for joining. I think that's Charlie, if I'm saying that name correctly. So thank you very much for joining me, Charlie. I do really appreciate that. And so I just I want to be able to just talk a little bit more. And at the end, if there are those that are joining me that have questions, I welcome questions. And I'll draw a couple of cards. But it's my whole intention to be able to have this talk, to be able to guide you so that you can connect more with your spiritual nature and learn to navigate this path more with more soul, with more spirit. And in turn, what happens is that as each of us are able to do this, we are raising the vibration of the world around us. And then we're fulfilling our purpose, because that is our purpose, to raise the vibration. Because listen, guys, if you're watching this right now, we are going through a great awakening. It actually really moves me that we're going through this great awakening right now. We're having great spiritual forces working upon us. And so if you're watching this right now, this is really, I believe, a call to action for you to really hone in on your spiritual path, to hone in on your divine nature, and to really learn to let that soul light shine out. That's what it really truly is all about. But we have the limitations of our human experience, which is, we struggle with relationships, and we struggle with money, and we struggle with our dreams and our goals and manifesting them, and we struggle with wounding, the wounding that we were born into through our parents, through our family, through our lineage. And we have a collective wounding too. And this is something I think that we don't always understand, is that we have a collective wounding here currently in the Western world, because we're all disconnected from spirit. We've been growing up, we've been existing in this, in our society that is completely disconnected from spirit, and completely disconnected from the idea of our soul, and that we're all connected. And so this is why we see Earth suffering so much. Truly, this is why we're seeing so much unrest. And we have all of these different experiences occurring through different locations of the world, because each different particular location of the world, each country, each hemisphere, each continent, it all comes with their own individual karma, with their own individual wounding and their own individual experience that has to unfold. And so the Eastern experience is very, very different than the karma of the Western experience. And so we're all having these really profound, intense experiences that sort of, we see the world through this particular lens. And I just want us to be able to be very mindful about that if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, whether it be live or on the replay, that you are, you're meant to see it, and that this is your call to be able to really start living more from your soul and understanding that the physical world is really simply an illusion. And, as I really look at things through this lens of the experience around me, I can't help but want to comment upon the experience of that Titan submersible and the lesson behind that. I believe the lesson, the purpose that we can perhaps glean from in order to be able to make sense of it. Because if we're experiencing it, there's a reason to be able to experience it. And it's easy to get caught up in the lower vibration of things, to get caught up in the trappings of the material world. But we have to be mindful that if we've experienced it, there's a reason for it. And so, what is the purpose of that experience? And I really believe that the parallels drawn by the captain of this submersible that was warned so much about the failures, the weaknesses of his design, but he didn't want to heed it. I believe that, and how that runs a parallel to the captain of the Titanic itself, that didn't want to listen to all of the warnings. I believe that's a lesson for us to be mindful about how strong our ego mind can be, and to learn to be able to balance that out with our soul and our heart. And, the very, very sad but real experience of the young boy that was on that submersible too, where he had this really profound terror and foreboding of this particular excursion. He didn't want to go on it, and he was talked into it. And so really what this is wanting to underscore is to be mindful of what your intuitive mind is telling you, to be mindful of what your spirit is telling you, and to pay heed to that. And yeah, it was kind of unfortunate that it cost such a large amount of money, and that was probably why he was able to override his intuition so much, because he was able to say, like, oh, this costs so much money, we don't want to waste that money. And so he went on the excursion and didn't heed his soul. He didn't heed his intuition. And so I want to say, though, as unsettling as that may be, that time and time again through doing mediumship readings, that I know that angels will embrace those that are about to pass in really, unsettling way. I know that angels will draw near and even at times remove the soul from the physical body prior to their physical passing, so that they do not experience that intense discomfort. And that is a grace that it has been given to us from our great Creator. And again, I know this from doing mediumship readings, from many, many readings, that I know this to be true. And so hopefully to those that have been profoundly affected by this loss, hopefully that knowledge will bring them some grace, will bring them some healing, and may also all the prayers of those that have been involved with this, observing this, hopefully all the prayers too will provide that a sense of peace and comfort through this difficult time. And we must be mindful that prayers are powerful. And when we put our heart and our soul into a prayer, it does make an impact. It raises the energy, it changes the vibration, it calls upon spiritual forces to take action. And so, I want to encourage all of us to live prayerfully, to be able to live intentionally, to be able to put, to have a prayer at the beginning of the day, to start your day, to be able to call upon those higher forces to guide you, to be able to call upon spirit to guide you. And as we do that, know that those prayers will be answered. And again, we're all working through this human experience. We're all working through karma and our own soul lessons that are very specific to us, through our family lineage, through our genetics, through our society. And we're all learning these very specific soul lessons, but there is spirit always that runs through it. And so I want us to be able to be mindful of that too, because I know that in this current world right now, that there are many of us that are really very hurting right now. And we're hurting because we feel that spiritual disconnect. And so it's time to be able to feel more connected, to be more connected, I should say, because as we do that, as we shift our awareness to our soul and set those intentions, and to be able to call upon the spiritual forces that guide us, they are answered. And as we tap in more to our soul, our true nature, it responds. And our soul, because it's divine, is a remarkable thing. Truly, it is capable of healing. It's capable of manifesting. We all have that ability. We all have the ability to be able to connect more with our soul, to manifest our life that we are desiring, to be able to be happy and have peace. And again, isn't that all that we want? And to have that for each other too. I mean, I think that is the whole purpose, heaven on earth. And so we're seeing a lot of deconstruction right now in our physical world. When we see all of these fires, we're seeing a lot of things that are cleansing. Fire is very cleansing. And that's what's happening. We're having a tear down of sorts of our material world, because it's a call to be able to bring spirit more into our life. And so for those that are watching, I'm just going to be able to draw a card for anyone that is seeking guidance at this time. And so know that this holds true for you too, if you are watching the replay, that just because you're not watching me live, if you're catching this in the replay, that this is meant for you, because this is the intention that I'm setting. So that if anyone is watching this at this time, that this card will be guided for them. And so whenever I work with my cards, again, I always shuffle and I set the intentions, and I shuffle just long enough for what feels right to me. So this is interesting, because the card that I pulled here, this really is a very lovely card. It's one of It is one of my favorites of the deck. And so we have the Six of Cups. And what's significant about this card to me is that it is a minor arcana card, which means this is a free will. And meaning that this is up to you, the individual, that you have the ability. This is a call for you to be able to connect with. And so the Six of Cups really is about harmony and peace and reminiscing. It's about the good feelings that we have from those that we've been connected with in the past. It represents that sort of feeling of nostalgia, the feelings of our childhood. And it's calling us to bring more harmony and peace and heart-centeredness in our life, because the cups represent our emotions, our feelings, and it's calling us on us to be more heart-centered and to bring that peace and that giving to one another in our life. And so you may also be reconnecting with someone from the past, as this does represent someone from the past that may come back into your life. And so know that there's healing there that is being done when that does happen. I know that there's a purpose to that. And again, excuse me, this is a minor arcana card. It means that you have free will in this moment. Okay. So I hope that this has been guiding for you. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And if you've liked it, please do remember to give it a like. Please do remember to subscribe, please, and hit that notification bell so that you know that when I'm going live. And I'll be going live again next Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I hope that you're able to join me. If you have any comments, please do give a comment in the video down below, and I look forward to reading them. If you have any questions, it will give me an opportunity to speak on that next week when I go live. And once again, I'd like to wish you all very many blessings. And thank you very much for watching, and may you walk with spirit. Bye for now.